Dr. Bart Rademaker, and this is Prescription for Your Transformation. Real people, real conversations, real success. And if you want to learn what it takes to do the best live interviews or live shows on Facebook, restreaming, whatever that is out there for you, having the confidence, but also having the confidence to navigate all the uncertainties, and as I like to put it for myself, all the foibles that I make, you're going to want to learn from an incredible human being and humanitarian, somebody that I have tons of respect for because of his solid integrity in what he says and what he does. James Cooper, thank you so much for joining me.
Bart, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
So we had a great beginning last time about amplifying your brand, talking about the story and how important that is. So this part is all about your star power. And it's something that I didn't recognize at one point, but I will share one little story because you reminded me last time that we always have to come up with stories. So my story is this, is that I grew up in Mexico, and my mother was a very social person, but a socialite. So she was very sophisticated. She's very cultured. And so she navigated in all the arts. And so we were required to be part of plays. So mainly Shakespearean plays and all that kind of stuff. And so I was her favorite. I have to say that I was the youngest one. And so I was in all these like Sammy's Horsetail or something, whatever it was. I never got to the level of Shakespeare because I was too young. But the point that I'm getting at is that she had aspirations that I would become an actor. And so her first step was shoving me into these advertising companies because I had an incredible blonde look, cute little kid, still am. But I failed at it because I had no idea. So my mom's aspirations for me becoming an actor are becoming real because now I'm doing this. So I want to thank you about star power and tell us, what it takes. What is star power really about, and how powerful is it for people to tap into their own?
Yeah. It's so great. I didn't know that. I didn't know about your story and growing up in Mexico. It's fascinating. I grew up in an entertainment family. So my father was a television director, and he got me my first film camera when I was 5 years old, just before my 6th birthday. And he basically said, have fun with this, make some art. And I did. And I grew up on a soundstage, and I'll never forget. I think I was about 7 years old, and it was a break. My dad he directed and did sitcom, and it was back in those days. It was 4 cameras, right? So they had 4 cameras on the set. And I remember my dad was in the booth. I could only hear him, but I was on the set, and he said, let's record you, Jim. And I turned, and all of a sudden these cameras moved in. There were 3 cameras on me, and there was one that was right in front of me, and the red light turned on, and these cameras, and all of a sudden I was in the middle, and I just see these 3 cameras on me, and I froze like a deer in headlights. I didn't know how to react. And then I don't know what I did. But I made some kind of face, and I was like, hello or something. And everybody, I don't know what my face must have looked like, but everybody on the set laughed hysterically. And that was like, there was something that triggered that was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like I did something to the camera and I got a reaction. And from that day, I kind of started exploring acting, which I'd never really thought about before. I liked using my camera to make movies, but I never ever thought about being on camera until that moment. And so I think that we all have something inside us that is like a switch that can turn on. And it doesn't mean you have to be an actor or perform. I think that, especially in today's world where we're looked at to go live and we're looked at to record videos. And unless you're making obviously a movie where you're playing a character, or you're doing a show or a comedy thing where you're being somebody else, we need that authenticity. But I think what star power and what I call unleash your X factor, finding those unique things about you that make you you, and then delivering that not just to a piece of glass, but to be able to mentally see your audience or see that one person on the other side of that camera. And that way you actually make a real connection in your mind's eye with somebody who's watching you. And so I think we all have that inside us, the ability to turn it on. It's just a focus thing. And when I coach people who are afraid of the camera, first of all, it's not the camera they're afraid of. It's usually something deeper. It's fear of judgment, or it's fear of what they think other people will perceive of them.
Right.
But it's the focus is in, meaning in their head, not out, meaning to the person they're talking to. I think that's the biggest thing that I help people with, is that help them focus out, not in. That's a lesson that helped me. It served me. And then when I was working in casting, I had to be behind the camera all day long, auditioning people and actors, sometimes hundreds of people a day, and getting them to feel comfortable, speaking to a piece of glass, which is not always easy to do, especially when you first start.
I love what you're saying, because, as we've talked before, in this world with so much information out there and so much fabricated information out there, we want that authenticity. We want to develop relationships that we know that are real for us. And the only way that's going to actually happen is if we allow ourselves just to be witnessed. I think one of the coolest things that we all wish to have is just to be witnessed and not being judged. And so I agree with you, just stepping away from that fear of being judged and just not taking yourself too seriously, having fun with this, and recognize one thing, and I thought of this when you were talking about it, is, look, you've worked really hard to be who you are today. So why not let it shine? Why not let it radiate, right?
Yeah, totally. I think we often don't give ourselves enough credit of our own greatness and the things that we should be proud of about ourselves. And again, it's not trying to be somebody you're not. There's a quote, I can't remember who said it, but it was like, the quote is, "Be you, everybody else is taken." Right. And I just love that quote because it's so true. All it is, when you're trying to be engaging and kind of turn on that star power of yours, all it is bringing your best self to the table, whatever that is. Some people, humor is their strong suit. I don't know if my humor is my strong suit. I don't know if it's how high it is as far as, if I were to go out there and be funny, I don't know if I would feel comfortable, in playing that role and being that person. But we all have different things that make us. Some people are just, they go on camera and you could just feel their caring. They're just incredible caring and compassion that you can just read from their videos. You just feel it. Some people are just, they just have this sense of courage and determination. And when you're watching their content or when you see them live, you're like, damn, it's like, I'd follow them. Like with their intensity and their commitment and their drive, like this is somebody I could really follow. So we all have our own thing that makes us who we are. And so I kind of try to help people figure out what are the attributes that really make you you? It's like, what are the you kind of draw them in circles and draw different size circles for different things. Right. And you start to see which circles people think of how they think of themselves. For some people, fun is a really big circle. For some people, fun is really, really small. And so then it becomes a choice. Then it becomes a choice of okay, fun is who you are. Do we need to bring more fun to the camera? Do we need to bring more fun to you when you deliver? How would that affect your delivery? If it's somebody, it's like, for somebody, confidence might be like a little minuscule dot. And it's like, okay, what does it take to make you feel confident? Have you ever felt confident? And I just get them in a state of flexibility and playfulness where they can actually, engage with those different emotions. Right. To bring that to life on camera. And then it just becomes muscle memory. So that the last part really is just all about muscle memory. The more that you do this, there's a saying I say all the time, and I've heard it from other people. confidence breeds competence. The more you do something,
right.
Competence breeds confidence. The more you do something, the more you'll feel confident of doing it.
Right.
And then then it becomes just turn on a switch where it's like, I have people create a word that so that when they say that word, it's an anchor that gets them in that mood and gets them ready. For some people it's showtime, for some people it's boom, for some people it's yes. There's just a trigger word so that when you see either the numbers or the 3, 2, 1 counting down to go live, like they say that word so that they are fully in that zone when that red light turns on.
It's funny you say that, because I actually shared with you before the show was that, it's a new experience for me to do the recordings versus going live. And so, when I would watch that clock, tick upwards till the hour, and then it's live, then I would kind of like take on that role, and it's like really cool. And so now I have to reinvent that process for me. But one of your star power that I always respected is, and I'm glad you brought it up earlier, is you're just you. And that's really cool, because so often, we are wired to fit in. And so rather than us trying to fit in everybody else, let everybody else fit in with us, and whoever wants to be in our space, let's do that. And this was an interesting thing, you bringing it up now, because I just hired a new marketing company to help me with some of the work that I'm doing. And they were asking me all these things about me. And I said, well, you know what? I really want to make sure that I'm in alignment with what everybody else wants. And they says, no, who are you? Be your genuine self, get the colors that you love, get the artwork that you love, and represent you. That's the brand. And that's the way that people are going to relate. And that's the best thing. So I love the fact that you're teaching people this whole idea about star power. And so how do people find you? What's the page?
I think the best way to find me is on Facebook. I have a free Facebook group called 6 Figure Storytelling, where we talk about topics like this. We also talk about marketing and sales. We talk video strategy. We talk video tech and technology. And since it's a 6 Figure Storytelling, it's about finding the message that's going to attract your ideal clients. And so we talk about all those topics. And you just find on Facebook and just type 6 Figure Storytelling. And that's the best way. We have lives every single week. And it's a great community of other people, like-minded people who are trying to get their message out there.
And what day is that live show?
We do a live every Tuesday at 2:00 Pacific Standard Time. That pretty much is set in stone. Sometimes we'll do some impromptu lives, but every Tuesday at 2:00.
Well, I know I'm going to follow you, because I realize that now as you're talking about all this techie stuff. I mean, I've worked diligently over the years to enhance my tech stuff, and I'm still confused about things and still trying to figure things out. And I can't tell you how often I've had a problem during a show, and it's like, oh no, this is a new one. So I'm super excited about what you're doing. And I encourage everybody out there, look, in this world where we're all selling something, we're selling something that is of value. I mean, that's what business is all about. But you want to amplify your brand. You want to amplify you. And there's a great way to do that. And I can't think of anybody better than James Cooper. His authenticity and helping you connect with yours so you can make things happen. So James, thank you so much.
Too kind. Thank you very much, Bart. Glad to be here.
Awesome. I'm Dr. Bart Rademaker, and this is Prescription for Your Transformation. Real people, real conversations, real success, and just living the authentic life. And I see a little guy back in the background. That's awesome. That's cool. That's what it's all about. I'll be back with James, amplifying your brand and what's the stage. Thank you, James.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Dr. Rademaker's Prescription for Your Transformation. Continue the path towards discovering your own authentic genius by tuning in next time for more real conversations with real people.